Well, the mailman just brought us a package. Today we've got the MegaMat Duo medium size mattress, and we're gonna open up the box, take a look inside, and see what this thing is all about. It's a pretty big box for a mat that's much smaller than the box is. So inside we've got the mat inside a bag. We're gonna take it out and see what we need to do to get it ready for our first trip in about a week. All right, the label on it confirms it's the MegaMat Duo 10 medium. Says it has unbelievable comfort, extra warmth, extra double width, a pioneer in a new generation of double wide 3D self-inflating mats that offer an absolutely level sleeping surface, rated down to minus 40 Fahrenheit, it says. All right, now I think I've read that when you first get these mats, one of the things you need to do is get it ready to self-inflate. And before the first use, you need to let it do that for, I think it's close to a week or so. So we have our first trip where we're gonna use this mat planned for just about a week from today. So we don't have quite a week to let it get acclimated, but I'm gonna get it open today. We'll let it sit for 5-6 days until we're ready to take off, and in about a week we'll have our first experience sleeping on it, see how it holds up. It comes in this bag that I've seen on other videos. It's really nice. You're going to use it to store the mattress in. It's got a carrying strap. For the size of it, especially compared to the last mat that we had that didn't quite last as long as we would have liked, it's got a nice compact size, so that's kind of cool. Let's take a look inside, huh? So as you start to open it up, I mean, there's a lot more room in here for storing it. I don't know if you can quite see, but as I open this thing up, there's a lot of extra capacity in here, which should be nice because I hear that when you're getting ready to fold this down after a trip, if you don't have quite the air, all of the air out, you've got that extra room in the bag that forgives some of that. You know, that compares to other gear that we have. I think about some of our sleeping bags and their cases that they go into, other mats like this that we've had where the fit is super, super, super snug. And unless you get every last square inch of excess air out, it's really difficult to get them to fit back in the bag. So it's nice to have this extra capacity. And inside, you've got the mat. It's all rolled up. You've got this gizmo that you use it once it does self-inflate to give it a little bit more air if you want that. So we'll use this in about a week, see how it goes. And let's get this thing rolled out and ready for first use. So the instructions here, there's a visual that says what you need to do before the first time you use it. So it looks like we do is we roll it open. All right, and it looks like when the mat comes in the bag, it's folded over the long ways once and then rolled. So that makes it into a size that fits into the bag. So we just need to remember that for when we do deflate it and put it back into the bag. So on one end of the mattress, you've got the two valves here, and they're labeled. So you've got an inflate valve right here. You've got a deflate valve right here. And it says we're gonna open up the inflate valve. And I hear air coming out even. And we're gonna let that sit. So again, on the instructions, it says you're gonna allow it to do its first self-inflation by opening up this inflate valve, but then it says to insert the toggle that's attached to the valve cap. So I'm assuming that's this. All right, so what I can figure here is when you got the valve cap open, it looks like you take this little, what they call the toggle, and you can actually push it through this opening in here. So we're gonna do that, let it sit like that, and we're gonna leave it like this for at least an hour to allow it for its first initial self-inflation. All right, so I've got the mattress out here. It's been self-inflating for about 2 hours. I can tell it's already got a bit of air in it. It looks like it's filling from one side to the other, so it's not filling equally. But anyways, it says the next step to do when you first inflate it is to then, after an hour or so, take the hand pump, put it into the inflate hole, and then hand pump for about 3 minutes. So I've already tried to put this in. It goes in a little awkwardly, I will say, but you got to kind of push on it a little bit. And eventually we'll get this. Okay, so now I've got the hand pump secure, and now the deal is you just pump. And I'm going to continue this for about 3 minutes. All right, so we've pumped this for about 3 minutes. It is much more firm than when we started. The instructions say the next step then, after doing that initial pump, is to close the inflate valve, which I'm going to do in a second here, and then it says to leave the mat for 24 hours in a warm environment, and that's going to allow the inner foam layer to recover to its full volume. So that's the process that you're going to go through the very first time you use the Exped mat. So, you know, this comes out really easily. You don't feel any air coming out. Just make sure that this little toggle is out of the way. And then we close it up. There we go. We're gonna let this sit for 24 hours and we'll check it out tomorrow, and then hopefully we're gonna have it prepped for our first use in about a week. And after that, we'll come back and let you know how the experience was on our first use of the Exped mat. All right, a few days ago we let the Exped mat inflate for the very first time before our first use. Today we're getting ready to go on a trip, so we're going to deflate it, package it up. So you've got a dedicated valve for deflate, so we're going to open that up, and we already hear some of the air coming out. And then what we're going to do is fold it over a few times to get some of the initial air start to come out. Fold it over a couple of times. All right. So now this is slightly wider than a single person's mat, but it's not the widest, but it's still, you know, this is a two-person mat. So what we're going to do next, this is the way it folds in the case, is we're going to fold it over the long way, like so. We'll try to get some of the air out this way, and then we'll start to roll it over. All right, so now kind of for the final getting your air out, we're going to start to just roll it up. All right, and I think that may be just enough to get it back in the carrying case. We'll close up the deflate valve. All right, then we have these, this pretty expansive bag that the mat came with, and hopefully there's enough room to get it back in here easily. All right, and then this mat just comes back into this bag, and it seems to have a good enough amount of space for it compared to the last mattress that we had that was a really, really tight fit. And it's ready for its next trip. All right, so we have the mat back inside. So we're just going to take the top of this bag, roll it over a couple of times, And then the strap will snap over like so, voila. And I've got a nice carrying case. We're going to take this on our trip and have a nice sleep. Alright, so we had our first night sleeping on the Exped mattress. Your thoughts?
It was little. It was little, wasn't wide enough, but we could make do. But as far as the comfort of it, I was surprised how comfortable it was.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, for me, I think a little similar. I think lengthwise, I didn't have my feet falling off the edge, so that was fine. It was narrow, but there are two different versions of this Exped mat. There's one, I guess, full-size double, and then there's a medium double, and we specifically bought the medium double so that we would have the option, if we ever wanted to sleep in the back of our minivan, to be able to fit the mattress, in there, because there may be some times where we'd want to do that. So we thought that would be the most flexible option for us. It did feel fairly nice. The one thing that I noticed that was different for me, and I don't know if it was different for you, we did bring our pillows from home, so I had the pillow that I sleep with every night. And for whatever reason, the same pillow that I sleep with every night when it was on this Exped mattress, it felt like my head was lower than what it feels like on my bed. So I don't know what that's about. I almost felt like I needed more pillow support. Yeah.
I didn't get that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt pretty much, I was sleeping on the pillow I always slept on.
All right. So that was good. The other thing that was different for this is the mattress we had before was, I think, a more traditional mattress that you had to blow up. So our experience with that, and we've had this other one for a decade or so, used it a lot for camping. We would always have to cart it out to the truck, hook up the automatic pump gizmo to the lighter socket in the van or the truck. Both of us holding the mattress while the automatic machine is blowing air into the thing.
Yeah, the trick was trying to get the tab closed when you pulled out the
nozzle
part of it, and not let all the air come out while you're doing it.
Yeah, and then again, the old mattress lasted us for quite a long time. We finally got to a point where some air pockets or something blew in there, and it just got expanded, and it basically broke. So it was time for a new mattress. This one is nice because it's self-inflating. So when we took it on the trip, I think within 10 minutes, it was fully expanded, and then you just added some air with the hand pump.
And it was a little bit longer.
Okay.
It was a little bit longer, but I don't know if it was a little bit longer because I had our little 5-year-old nephew helping me, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But because I had to go up there in about 10 minutes, and I thought it just needed a little more time.
Yeah.
So.
And then this morning, deflating it, pretty simple process. Kind of how we showed on the video, just like that. It was actually a little bit easier the second time. So overall, happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will link to the mat on our Amazon page at the bottom of this YouTube. So we'd recommend it. So far our experience is very good, and we're pleased with the product.